Good evening, YouTube. What's going on? I got a box today. I feel bad. Championdjk. Let me get my phone here. I got a couple people I got to call out. Not call out. I'm not calling anybody out, but all right. Championdjk. 100 little cars. Tabake. And who is the other one? Man, I don't know who it is. Well, oh, here we go. SKDC Love and Diecast. So you guys all have packages. I owe all you guys packages. And I've just been unbelievably busy. I have them. They're not packed, but they're sorted and boxed. I need to just bubble wrap everything and tape them up. And 100 Little Cars box is ready to go, but the rest of them are close. So I apologize for the delay. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because I got a box today from a trade that I did with Championdjk, and I haven't even sent him his yet. So I have all his set aside, but I'm still trying to think. I need to send him something, and you'll see why in a minute, because he sent me a belated Christmas present that is awesome. All right, so this is going to be it's not going to be as short as I kind of hope, and it might be a little bit all over the place as far as the type of diecast that we're going to look at. But this is the first part of the trade. And when he sent me the picture of this car, I was like, I've got this casting. It's a different color. And it's like, I like it, but I don't know what I want to give up for it. But I offered him I don't even remember what I offered him. But I know I'm sending him almost all the rest of the old Greenlight castings that I have, like the old high speed, because he's going after one of each Greenlight tooling. So I offered him one of them. I don't remember which one, and he said sure. I have to tell you guys, like I said, with the picture he sent, it was like, it's cool, but I've got it in a different color. Having it here in this red color it's really nice. I mean, the picture didn't do it any justice. I was going to do an Auto World comparison with the other tooling, but now I'm glad that I got this one because I think it'll make the comparison better and easier because, to me, I mean, look at that spare tire. Look at that. OEM Steely spare wheel, opening trunk, transparent lensed headlights, translucent lensed taillights. This thing is so much nicer than the Auto World. I'm curious to get his take on it, but in my opinion, I think that the Ertl here is quite a bit nicer than the Auto World. From a scale standpoint, they're both pretty much about the same. Engine detail is pretty good on both. So, I don't know. At some point, I'll do a video. But, yeah, I'm glad I did it because, this one is definitely a lot nicer than the other color that I have. So now the other color that I have will be available for trade. because I only need one of each of these Ertl. By the way, this is Ertl Vintage American Muscle. All kinds of detail. These are the cars that set the tone for all of the premium 1/64 scale stuff today. And that includes all the import stuff. Kyosho, TLV. These cars preceded all of them by probably 5 years ish. When these cars came out, there was nothing on the market. They were unparalleled, basically. They were on a level of their own. So, with that, I did get a couple others out to take a look at. We have this. I always forget what year this is. 1961 Chevy Impala. This is a 58 Plymouth. And I'm not sure if it's billed as a Belvedere or a Fury. Doesn't matter. They're basically the same car. But 1958 Plymouth, 1961 Chevrolet. Clearly, the fit and finish is a little bit nicer on the Plymouth, but that is not to take anything from this 61 Chevy. This thing is awesome. Great looking car. The side view mirrors on these cars, I mean, up here you got the fender mounted side views. Both of these have the spare tire in the trunk. Now, not all of these have lens taillights or headlights. Some of them don't have, some of them are all painted headlight and taillight detail. But in both of these cases, you get lensed head and head and taillights. This next one, you only have lensed headlights. But this is my favorite Ertl of all the vintage American muscle. This is the one that I like the most. It's a 1963 Chevy Impala, and it has the skirt, because this Impala, there were a couple different styles to it. There was one that didn't have that skirt. The 58 Impala that they did has the spare tire on the trunk. I forget, my dad told me what the trim package was called. I totally forgot what it's called. I'll have to ask him, but I love this 63 in black. Probably this car could have been brought out and shown with the Cadillac and the Lincoln and the Bentley. It's definitely nice enough in quality and nice enough in aesthetics to where it could hold its own. Little bit of a crooked trunk, not too bad. Cool thing about this one is I can replace it, and I am going to be getting another one because look at the taillights. There's something off with them, and I don't know for sure what it is, but I purchased two others and traded them. So now the next time I trade one, it's going to be this one, and then I'm going to get myself the replacement. I love the car though, just an awesome car. So these are Ertl American muscle cars, are definitely worth collecting if you like the classic stuff from the 60s. Okay, now we're going to get into a couple other cars that he sent me. So this one here was the belated Christmas present here. He found this at like either a flea market or might have been an antique mall or something. I don't know, but this thing is cherry. I mean, Well, you got like a real tiny flea bite there on the front fender. But that is nothing. Like, that could have come from the factory that way. It doesn't look like it's ever been played with. So I would say it almost looks like it's been repainted. That is a question for the toy pimp. He would know. I don't think it has, though, but you know what? It is very possible that it was. I can't tell if the post was drilled or not, because there's like... It almost does look like somebody just took a can of shake and shoot to it, but no, I don't think it is, because the top plastic part is... I don't think that's painted. I think that plastic was molded in that color. That does not have paint on it. And then the post here, you know, you can see where it has the color on it. There's a little bit of residue, but I don't think that's been drilled. I'll just send a pic to the toy pimp and then he'll tell me, he'll know, because if it came out in this color, then that just answers it. But this is the second one of these that I have. Both of them are in very, very, very good condition. The only issue with the other one I have is that it's missing the grill insert, which is pretty common with these. So pretty cool to get this. This is in great condition. And it's an excellent addition to my oddball Toyota collection. And I gotta tell you, I don't know what he paid for it. I know he won't buy them unless they're cheap. I think the last one that he sent me, because the other one I got from him as well. I think he only paid like $2 or $3 for that. And in the condition it's in without the grill, it's a $15 to $20 casting. And these will sell for $20 all day long in this condition. So pretty cool. Love it. Not that that matters because I'm not going to sell it. Okay. This next car. Interesting story. So I had this and then I traded it to him. And when we made the trade, he had a bid on one, a white one on eBay with a couple days left. He wasn't sure he was going to win it. He ends up winning it. He's not a fan of yellow in this. I don't know about generally speaking, but I know in 1 to 64 scale, he does not care for yellow cars. So he was like, hey, I won the white one, so if you want that one back. So I traded him back for it, and I'm glad I did because, you know, I really do like this car. It's a really cool looking car. I mean, look at the wheels on this. Like spiderweb wheels. Incredible detail from Kyosho. The stance on it is perfect. Look at that front end detail. That is just incredible. I love it. I'm really happy to have this back. And I think, you know, I have a lot of cars that I've had in the past and then I sold and then I got them back somehow or another. And the vast majority of the time when they leave my collection and then come back to my collection, they end up staying. They end up as collection keepers, as I call it. So, if you're wondering, it's a Lancia Delta. You can Let's see here, 164 Lancia Delta HF Integral Evolution 2 Kyosho made in China. It is not pronounced Lancia, so please, please spare us. I'm not 100% sure on the correct pronunciation, but I'm 95% sure that it's pronounced Lancia. 2 syllables. If it was phonetical, it would be Launcha. Lancia. Really cool. So, I guess that, since getting a Kyosho hatchback, I thought, well, let's do a hatchback video. So let's do a hatchback video. Now, if we're going to do a hatchback video, there's going to be some Honda Civics. Starting with this, first generation. I think this is a first generation. It could be a second, but I think it's a first. If you guys know, please comment below. I think this is the first gen Honda Civic, though. A friend of mine in high school's mom had one of these. It was like, what, 1990, 92? 92-ish. It was brown. It's like a 79. It's an old car, but at the time it was only like 12 or 13 years old. It's funny because, his mom drove this little car, and then his dad had this brand new square body Suburban. Beautiful truck. I remember went lots of places in that thing. Used to drive up to Nebraska to Cabela's. Used to go watch fireworks, tailgate. Good times. Man, growing up is fun. Sucks getting old. So anyways, there's a hatchback. Konami Honda Civic. All right, now we have a Kyosho Honda Civic. So this is the body style that came after. This is a pretty popular body style, although I think it was the body style after this that really has that cult following. What I like about this Honda Civic is the front quarter angle. A lot like the Lancia, the front bumper underneath, how it kind of just works its way up and becomes part of the fender, almost like a chin spoiler type of a look, but not really. But it's just a real clean look that they incorporate the body of the car into that. Whereas, with the older cars, the bumper was clearly separate. There's another example of an older car that doesn't do that. All right, so a couple of awesome Kyosho hatchbacks. My favorite Kyosho hatchback, not just that I have, but that they've ever made, is this one right here. It's just a beautiful die-cast car. This is one of the first Kyosho cars that I ever bought. And I absolutely love this car. I do get a lot of inquiries. Everybody has those cars in their collection where people will holler at you from time to time. Hey, what do you want for this one? And you're like, no. This is one of those cars for me. Volkswagen Golf GTI. Not sure what mark it is, but Mark 1 or 2? I don't know. Again, if you guys know, please comment below. What I do know is that the Kyosho execution is stellar. The detail is phenomenal. The scale and proportions are on point. You only have a driver's side view mirror accurate to the car. There is no side view mirror on the passenger side. That is how the car came. The color is great, although it was available in a couple other colors. The front, the headlights. I mean, even the Volkswagen logo, look at the texture on the headlights. That is so 1980. It just looks so killer. And then the black plastic fenders with these highly detailed steel wheels, which are prototypical OEM Volkswagen wheels. So if I were to rank the Kyosho hatchback cars that I have, this would be the first. It would actually probably go 1, 2, 3. However, from a value standpoint, by far and away, this is number one. If you were to go to eBay to buy these, this one is going to cost you more than the other two combined. More times than not. You might find a deal. You never know. Okay, so continuing on with the hatchback motif. Have to look at an EF9, right? I really like what Inno is doing right now. They've got a Corolla. I don't know if it's a Trueno or a Levin, but it's going to have some Advan decos on it. Looks pretty good. I'll have to get that. They just came out with an Integra. They've got a Honda Accord coming out. Inno 64 is crushing right now. And you know what? They're taking on a brand in Honda that has been underrepresented in this scale. There just isn't a lot of Honda out there. You look at all the Tomica Limited Vintage stuff, all the Kyosho stuff. When you're talking about premium detail diecast, there is hardly any Honda. Now, Tomica, with their basic lineup and even their premium lineup, I'm sure you can find a decent amount of Honda. But look at the detail on this Inno 64. Looks great. Love it. So definitely a hatchback worth mentioning. Probably my favorite hatchback in my collection is this little guy right here. This is a Konami. Very hard to find little car. I know I talk about it every time I show it. But this car actually is the most valuable car in my collection. And that's just a Konami Toyota Starlet. I don't remember the year. I think it's like an 84. I'll have to look that up actually, because now I'm curious. But this is the only Toyota Starlet that's been produced in 1:64 scale. It was also available in red. Those are the only two colors. They're both equally hard to find. And both of them are going to cost you about the same amount, which is anywhere from 50 to 80. And then occasionally you can find it as low as 35. I found this for like $32 shipped about a year ago. It's a collection keeper. It's one of the cars that will never leave my collection. Whoa now. almost tore that down. Okay, a couple more hatchbacks. Staying with Toyota, although this is a completely different diecast brand. Little rally car, Toyota Corolla. This is a brilliant casting. Got the antennas. With the European registration, or what appears to be European registration. I could be wrong. It could be Australian or African. I don't know what other countries use those style of plates. I know the US does not. But I love the lens tail lights. I don't love the decos, but whatever. Front end of the car looks great. Got a great stance. Wheels and tires look good. Very cool car there. And then the last hatchback that we're going to look at, sticking with that CM's diecast rally car theme, another collection keeper. I've actually had 2 or 3 inquiries on this one since I got it. I only got it about 2 months ago, and I've had a few people interested in it. And this is the Ford Escort Cosworth. Now, I've thought about how cool this would be to do a custom, to take the mud flaps off the back, take that weird looking spoiler off, strip it all down, give it a solid color paint job, and then reassemble it with more of a custom civilian type of a look. If I had the ability to do it, and with a professional result, I would seriously entertain that idea. But my skill set is not adequate for that. This is just an awesome car, though. From no other brand will you find a premium detailed Ford Escort. Okay, now I only have one more car. Since I have this Konami Toyota Corona out, it just dawned on me as I was pulling a few of these out of the carny for the video. It dawned on me that I have a Konami Toyota Corona 1600 GT right here. And as I was looking at this is a Tomica. It's a Tomica Limited Vintage. This is a 1900. It's a Mark II 1900. The red Konami says Toyota Motor Company. Toyota 1600 GT. Yeah. So I think the red one predates the white one by a year or two. But here you have Konami 2-door, very nice detail. And here you have Tomica Limited Vintage 4-door with the best detail that money can currently buy in 1:64 scale. As a collector, if someone were to ask me my professional opinion, if you want to call it that, if somebody was asking what are the best brands to buy as far as detail in replication. There are two brands that I think are parallel. I think they're equal when it comes to build quality and detail replication. And that is Tomoka Limited Vintage. And the other brand I don't have out on the layout, but it's called Oversteer. Those two brands are, in my opinion, the best. I wouldn't say one is better than the other when it comes to detail. Now, I don't own an ignition model, and I've never seen one in person, but I'm sure it's safe to say that they are as good or better. And they should be, because for $130 for a 1/64 scale card, you better be getting something very high quality. But from my experience, TLV and Oversteer make the highest detailed castings, most accurate replicas in 1/64. Kyosho is very high on that list. There's no doubt about it. Kyosho cars are great. Konami is high on that list, although they are a significant level below TLV and Oversteer, and I would say even Kyosho. Inno 64, I think the jury is still out on them. I don't know that they're quite... I can tell you for sure that when it comes to build quality, they're not as good as TLV. With detail, I don't know. I think that they're close. I do prefer the Tomoka Limited Vintage to the Inno 64. You know what? TLV is going to do an EF9 later here in 2019. So when that EF9 comes out, we'll do a little side-by-side and see who did it better. I have no doubt that the TLV will look a lot nicer than this does. This is a nice casting, but as you can see, it has stance issues. Now, I wheel swapped it and put some Type R Integra wheels on it from the Revell casting, and it corrected a lot of that stance issue. But I can't keep those wheels on it forever. All right, so that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Championdjk for the awesome trade. And here's to the hatchback. Hatchbacks, minivans, and station wagons need to be represented in 1/64 scale. Brands like Auto World and Greenlight are going to do their part for the station wagons, but we're going to need other brands to step up for hatchbacks and minivans. Minivans haven't really broke yet, and I don't know that they ever will. You know, the station wagons are just now kind of breaking. I would love to see a Dodge Caravan, premium detailed Dodge Caravan, or Chevy Astro, or Toyota Sienna, you know, Ford Windstar, all of them. Could you imagine if Kyosho did a minivan series? You all know as well as I do that would sell out in a minute. So there you go. A lot of really nice brands represented here, both in automotive form and in diecast form. Everything from Inno 64 to Konami to Kyosho to CM's diecast, all the way to Tomoka Limited Vintage. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. So thank you guys for watching. You all have a good Thursday. Don't work too hard. The weekend is almost here, not too much further. Make sure you all get your taxes filed so you can get that money so you can buy a nice chunk of diecast. And I'll holler at you all at the next video. Once again, 100 Little Cars, Tabake, Championdjk, and SKDC Love and Diecast. I will get your boxes out. There's no excuse. I'm not going to make any. Just know I haven't forgotten. And you guys all have a good night.